Hey guys, Scott with Pack Rat's Attic. I got a little bit of a long drive, so figured I'd do a video and chat about a few things going on. Now, the thing with the NFA stuff, just be patient. The rules haven't been clarified. Things are changing hour by hour, minute by minute. I would hold off on any NFA stuff until the rules are completely clarified. That's about all I'm going to say on that. Now, as far as the wins we've been getting lately, the frames and receivers rule. Now that's a rule, that's not a law. Now, that was recently struck down again in the same court by a different judge, Judge Reed O'Connor. Judge O'Connor is awesome on the Second Amendment. I haven't really read much about it, listened to much about it, but from what I understand, according to Judge O'Connor, he ruled that the rule against manufacturing your own firearms from 80% kits or even from scratch, the rule itself is unconstitutional. What does that mean? Well, it means that you can buy an 80% lower, manufacture it, and use it. Now, just like the NFA rule, or NFA ruling, and that brings up another little sore spot. Everyone's calling it an injunction. It is not an injunction. It's a ruling. The difference between an injunction and a ruling is an injunction is a temporary thing meant to last until the court case is settled. So both of these are rulings, which means they're final judgments. So, can both of these decisions still be appealed? Yes, they can. Remember, even though the stay on the NFA stuff expired, the courts still have 60 days from the date, the defendants have 60 days from the date that the judgment was settled or judgment was announced to appeal. Doesn't matter whether there's a stay on it or not. After those 60 days, then too bad, so sad, you're done. Now, I really don't think the court or the ATF or DOJ is going to appeal the NFA. Don't know about the frames and receivers. Good grief, I'm way out here in Jordantown. I got 51 miles to go home. It's a long drive home. But I like getting these rural routes because I enjoy the scenery. But anyway, going back to those two rulings. The frames and receivers rule is going to be really interesting. People are expecting that case to be appealed. However, everybody thought the NFA was going to be appealed. So, sorry about that. Kind of hard to, when you don't know where you're at, gotta use that GPS. Anyway, so about the frames and receivers rule. Again, it has restrictions just like the frames and just like the NFA. It's to the named plaintiffs and the members of the organizations in the named plaintiffs. So this is a good example. Support those that are supporting you. Everyone says, oh, I would never join GOA. I would never join SAF. I would never join the NRA. I would never join whatever organization. You know, these guys spend a good chunk of money on protecting your rights. Now, is $25 a year gonna hurt you? You know, that's not even a large pizza anymore. So, I mean, forego that large pizza tonight and spend it on joining GOA. I actually am working on getting my GOA life membership. When I say I'm working on it, it is a payment plan. So until I get the payment plan, I'm going to say that I'm working on getting my GOA life membership. Probably next year I'm going to work on, I'm not sure which one yet, but I'm going to eventually be members of all of the organizations. I'll probably just do one life program at a time and then do yearly programs on the other ones until I get one of the until I get one of the life programs paid off. And I kind of would recommend doing that. I mean, I'm not, a rich man, so I can't just go out and thunk down $1,000 to join each organization. But I sure as heck can afford $50 a month until that $1,000 is paid off. So, that's just kind of my little rant on that. The other big win we have is it's really not even a court case, but and this has actually always been the law, and for various reasons that it's never been offered, is restoration of rights of felons. Okay, I know people say, oh no, I would never want a felon owning a firearm. What about it, the guy that goes out and writes a bad check? He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't cause anybody's injury other than himself. He spent and did his time. Why shouldn't he be allowed to possess and own a firearm? You know, that person that wrote that check, he probably has a family. He probably is trying to get a good job. You know, there's a lot that goes into restoring your rights as a felon. You get your rights restored as a felon. My cousin actually is a 3-time felon. He had his rights restored. So, and his felonies were possession charges. Now, the amount he was charged with, I mean, it was a huge amount of illegal substances. Let's just leave it at that. He never was a violent person. And why not? I mean, they've already said that, you know, in the DOJ, that persons convicted of certain violent felonies are not going to be eligible. So, I mean, the guy that goes out and gets a felony for, well, I'm going to use the range case. You know, lying on a food stamp application. Really? That's a felony? The most it should be is a fine or a denial of your rights or denial of your food stamp application. So, you know, I'm all for people getting their rights restored, to getting their ability to earn a good living. Some jobs, if you have felonies and don't have your rights, I know of jobs that require you to be a registered voter. Usually those are governmental or county or something along those lines. You know, why can't you be a road worker for the county, but because you're a felon and can't vote? There's something seriously wrong there. Also, you know, going with that, I looked it up this morning because I had a little bit stop at a stoplight. I just want to let you know that I'm not surfing while I'm driving. It was not until 1938 felons lost their rights. So just because you made a dumb decision doesn't mean you should lose your rights to express yourself. I mean, there's people I've met that were felons, extremely smart people, but they couldn't vote. So, there's just something wrong with that picture. The other thing is we need to pressure our congressmen, senators into getting the SAFE Act passed. The SAFE Act, the SAVE Act, I'm sorry. If I have to show my photo ID to get food stamps, let's just say, why shouldn't I have to show a photo ID to vote? If I have to show a photo ID to purchase a firearm, I have to show a photo ID to open a bank account, to cash a check. Some banks require you to submit a fingerprint to withdraw large sums of money or cash a check if you're not a member of that bank. So, I mean, if you're having to jump through those kind of hoops, I mean, you have to show your photo ID to get health care. When you go to the hospital, they ask for a driver's license or a photo ID to register at that hospital as a patient. So, I mean, with that kind of requirement, why is getting a photo ID to vote such a big deal? You know, I mean, I'll be doing the Uber or doing the Amazon Flex. There's some of the gated communities I have to go to that they want to see a photo ID to be able to go into that gated community. So, again, what's the big deal? You know, I really hope somebody gets something out of this little chat. I know it was a little long, a little discombobulated, but that's kind of how these Thursday's thoughts, whatever these ideas behind the road, or when I'm on the road. You know, it's just random thoughts. And I really hope that somebody gets something out of these. I hope that people enjoy these random thoughts. And you know, a lot of times I do these thoughts not to say that I'm in better and more knowledgeable than you are. I do them, a lot of them, to maybe let's start a conversation. And maybe we can improve life for everybody and make things better and make things more free. Anyway, looks like I'm still almost 40 minutes away from home, so I guess, 20 minutes of yapping is enough. So everybody have a good day, have a blessed day. Try, as Hillbilly says, try to make somebody's day better. Even if that's just waving at somebody, give them a handshake, open the door for them, you know, somebody may be having that rotten, nasty day, and somebody holding the door at the convenience store for them can be one good thing that happened to them that day. So just think about it. And I really do hope that everybody gets something out of these. Anyway, the last thing I'll close with is remember your ABCs. And as I always say, it's better to have a tool when you need it and not need it than need it and not have it. Thank you very much and have a good day.